Hi, folks. John Tobis here. Let's talk about creating a Xenocrypt. That's a Spanish aristocrat in this case. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Obviously, you can find quotes yourself, or you can use the test builder as I've done. Let the test builder make a recommendation for a Spanish quote. Now, one of the things that you want to do in order to control the difficulty of solving the Xenocrypt is you'd like to pick a word, a phrase that has a lot of cognates in it. Now, a cognate is a word that's the same both in English and in Spanish, or substantially the same. And you can see in this case, we've got infinitas, infinite, universo, universe, estupidez, stupidity, humana, human. So there's a bunch of these words that if you don't know Spanish, you might at least recognize them as you're trying to decode them. And so the more cognates you have, the better off you're going to, the easier it's going to be for them to solve. So this turns out to be a fairly simple one to solve. That combined, of course, with the chi-square being a fairly low, well, low to medium value, this should be pretty good for them to be able to solve. Now, you're going to approach this the same way that you approach doing a K1, K2, K3, and there's another video that shows you how to set up a K1, K2, K3. But in this case here, we're asking for a K1, so we're going to suggest a keyword. Now, the keyword is going to be in English. You don't want to use a Spanish keyword for them. Let's not make it too hard for them. And we can look in here. Let's see what we've got. Let's see, go through a couple times. You can hit regenerate to see you got some in here. Featuring, that's not bad. And we want to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to use an offset of 16 instead of 18. 18 means it's going to wrap around. 16 means it's going to be near the end. So if you look, we can see featuring here. It's not wrapping around, but it should be pretty straightforward for them to solve it. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and suggest question. Right? It even tells us that it's in Spanish, been encoded, and using, so we're going to take the recommendation, and let's see how many points it says. 467 is not bad. It's in a good range for this. Generally, your Xenocrypts are going to be in the 500 to 700 point range. This particular quote happens to be a fairly easy quote, so it's a little bit lower than normal, but I would generally expect somewhere in the 475 to 500 is where you want to target your Xenocrypts, higher if it's a more complex one. So we've done that, and at this point in time, we are finished with our question. We can save it and go on to the next. I hope you have a wonderful day.